2025 World Athletics Championships. U.S. men and women take gold in 4x100m relay. On the final day of the World Athletics Championships, Team USA picked up two key victories. The U.S. dominated in the 4x100m relay, taking home gold on both the men's and women's side. It was a rainy day on the track, but that didn't stop the women from picking up the win. It wasn't an easy victory, however, as Sha'Carri Richardson needed to make up a deficit against Jamaica and then hold it down the stretch. While Richardson was able to overtake Jonelle Smith in the final stretch, Smith nearly took the lead back at the end. Richardson held on, giving Team USA the win by just 0.04 seconds. For the women, it ended the World Athletics Championships on a high note. The U.S. women have had plenty to celebrate at the event, with Melissa Jefferson Wooden picking up 3 gold medals. Jefferson Wooden won the 100-meter, 200m, and the 4x100m relay, becoming only the second woman in history to win all 3 events at a single World Championships. The only other woman to accomplish that feat is Jamaica's Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, who ran for Jamaica in the 4x100m on Sunday. With the women's win secured, it was up to the men to follow suit. Like Richardson, Noah Lyles didn't disappoint. Lyles ran a blazing final leg to give the men the win in the 4x100m relay. The team ran the event in 37.29, the 5th fastest 4x100m time in history. Christian Coleman, who led things off for Team USA, got a nice head start early, while Canada attempted to close that gap. Excellent times by both Courtney Lindsay and Lyles sealed the win for the men. Canada finished second, posting a time of 37.55. Netherlands was third with a 37.81 finish. It marks the second straight World Athletics Championships in which the U.S. men have picked up the win in the 4x100m relay. Coleman and Lyles participated in both victories. The crowd at Tokyo's National Stadium had already been buzzing with anticipation. The rhythmic stomping of thousands of feet on the steel and concrete stands echoed like a war drum. But when the final runners of the men's and women's 4x100m relay teams crossed the finish line in near-perfect unison, both clad in the unmistakable red, white, and blue of the United States, the roar that erupted shook the city to its core. In a historic night at the 2025 World Athletics Championships, Team USA swept gold in both the men's and women's 4x100m relay finals, marking a triumphant return to sprinting supremacy and delivering a message the world couldn't ignore. The Americans are back on top, and not just by inches, but meters. The women strike first. The women's final was up first. Under a moonlit Tokyo sky, the U.S. quartet of Tamari Jackson, Brianna Williams, Jada Harper, and Sha'Carri Richardson walked onto the track like they owned it. They almost did. Though Richardson is no stranger to the spotlight, it was 22-year-old Tamari Jackson, the opening leg, who electrified the crowd. Exploding out of the blocks, Jackson gained ground instantly, handing off to Brianna Williams, a Jamaican-born sprinter now representing the U.S. after a highly publicized nationality switch in 2023. The second exchange was as clean as glass, a moment of grace at near 30 miles per hour. Williams to Harper, Harper to Richardson. Then it was Sha'Carri time. The reigning Olympic 100m champion and social media sensation had only one job: bring it home. And she did, like a rocket launched from Cape Canaveral. It wasn't just a race, Richardson said afterward, breathless and teary-eyed. It was redemption. For me. For us. For every baton we ever dropped. Tonight we made it right. They finished with a time of 41.76 seconds, the fastest in the world since 2012, edging out Jamaica, 42.01, and Great Britain, 42.38. Then came the men. If the women had electrified the track, the men detonated it. Lining up for Team USA, Noah Lyles, Ariane Knighton, Kenny Bednarik, and a surprise anchor, Christian Coleman, who had spent most of the season focusing on the 200m. The team had been criticized during qualifying for shaky handoffs, but you wouldn't have known it tonight. Lyles took the first leg with the swagger of a champion, torching the curve before handing off to Knighton. The 21-year-old phenom burned down the backstretch like he was chasing destiny itself. Bednarik took over on the third leg and executed the hardest turn of the relay like it was child's play. And then came Coleman, the quiet veteran, anchoring with the coolness of a monk and the speed of a panther. They stopped the clock at 37.38 seconds, just a hair behind the world record, 37.10, set by Jamaica in 2012, but far ahead of their competition. Jamaica took silver in 37.88. Canada, powered by rising star Marcus Edwards, secured bronze in 38.01. Flawless execution, finally. For a nation known for sprinting greatness, the 4x100m relay has historically been America's Achilles heel. Disqualifications, botched handoffs, and lane violations have haunted U.S. teams for decades. Tonight, however, there was none of that. Every baton pass was poetry. Every runner locked in. Every meter maximized. "I've never seen this kind of precision from our relays," said former Olympic gold medalist and NBC commentator Allison Felix, watching from the broadcast booth. "They ran like a machine. A beautiful American-made machine. A night of redemption and resolve." This night wasn't just about gold medals. It was about redemption. For Richardson, who missed the 2021 Tokyo Olympics after a controversial suspension. For Lyles, who spent years chasing the ghost of Usain Bolt. For a U.S. sprint program that, for too long, had been chasing instead of leading. "It's about time," said Noah Lyles, who also took gold in the 200-meter earlier in the week. "We've been building toward this moment for years. People said we couldn't do it. People doubted us. But tonight, we showed the world what American sprinting really is." For the women's team, the victory was even sweeter. The depth of global talent in women's sprinting, especially from the Caribbean and Europe, had left little room for U.S. dominance in recent years. But tonight proved the stars and stripes are more than capable of shining brightest when it counts.